For my repurposing project, I chose to take a bunch of jars and repurpose them. I'm trying to make my life more plastic free, and the alternative is glass jars, but I feel bad about throwing those away, so I have found a good way to repurpose them. I will begin the process by removing labels off of the jars. Some of these I already have removed the labels, and then the next step will be removing the sticky residue. The first step in removing the label is to soak it for a while in warm-ish soapy water to get the paper all loosened up. One solution that I've found for removing the sticky residue off of jars is to take 1 tablespoon of baking soda and 1 tablespoon of olive oil, mix them together in a little container, and then spread them over the sticky parts and let it sit for a half hour. As you can see, after I left my jar in the water for about 10 minutes, the label came off fairly effectively, and even the best by date is coming off just with my fingernails. The step I will take is take my mixture of baking soda and olive oil and spread it on where the sticky labels used to be. Some of my jars, it came off a little bit easier when I removed the label, some of them not so much. So we'll see how that goes. As you can see, I applied my mixture over here to the sticky parts of the jars, and I'm gonna let them sit for a half hour while the sticky residue is loosened. While I'm waiting for my jars to dry, I'm gonna go ahead and paint these lids. The first step is you need to scuff up the existing polish so that the paint has something to grip to. So I'm gonna go ahead and use some steel wool and scuff up the paint. So here's the finished product of using the steel wool. I also would like to suggest that if you do not have access to steel wool, mention that you can also use sandpaper. I have everything put together here for painting my lids. So I have thoroughly dried my lids after I sanded off the top of the paint. And I have several color choices. I'm probably going to go pretty boring because I plan on using these in my bathroom. And you can use whatever size brush you have because you're only doing one color. I usually start with white under whatever color I want to do, just because I think it covers up and gives a good base coat on top of this bright red and this green. Now I've finished the first coat of white on both of my lids. Now I'm gonna wait approximately an hour for them to dry. So it's about a half hour later, and I took my jars here and rinsed them off. And as you can see, the label came off very well on all of them, and the stickiness also came off, even off of the little one. So the next step is I'm going to put them in warm soapy water again and wash them off and let them sit in the water for a little bit to sanitize. You can also at this point run them through the dishwasher. I would not do that prior to this point because there is some evidence that the stickiness will stay stuck. So here are my lids after I did 2 coats of silver paint on them. As you can see, you can't see any of the previous label that was underneath. The next step I take is I coat them with Mod Podge. It doesn't matter what kind, just to seal everything in. It makes them a little bit more waterproof and prevents chipping. There is an alternative you can make with Elmer's glue. I will put that recipe on the next portion of the video. Now that my lids are coated in Mod Podge, I will wait approximately an hour for them to dry. They usually don't need more than 1 coat.